getting close to the weekend, which means it's race weekend. Of course, it's every weekend's race weekend in NASCAR because that's how we roll in stock cars. And this week it is at one of my favorite tracks. I've actually did a race on NASCAR Heat 5 that is posted in the video in on this channel. I'm gonna go see how I did. Go watch it. It was an interesting one. But nonetheless, I'm Patriot Dylan. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything going on. So, we're at Homestead this weekend, where the championship race, many would argue, should be. I would be completely okay with Homestead being the championship race again because it's a lot better racetrack than Phoenix. But that is a discussion for a different day. Although, if you want to have that discussion, you certainly can. Put it in the comments and we'll hash it out. But nonetheless, this weekend, this year, we were racing at Homestead in March. And, well, let's just simply break it down, shall we? I mean, it's 267 laps, 400 miles, 400 and a half if you want to be technical. And it is March 23rd, which is Sunday, 3 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. Now, a lot of this is what does history tell us about this track? What are the trends? What was going on? Well, what are we looking out for? Well, as many have alluded to already, this is a dirt racer's track. It's pavement, but the dirt racers love it. They love it. Tyler Reddick last year, that being in October. Oh, so these races are in October. So it could be a little bit different trend, given it's a completely different season and the track's going to act a little bit differently. So who knows? But in October, the last 3 years, it has been Tyler Reddick, dirt guy, Christopher Bell, dirt guy, Kyle Larson, dirt guy. And they started. Tyler Reddick won from pole. Bell won from 13th. Larson won from 5th place. Now, as far as the green-white checkered restart, the all-valuable overtime to look out for. It's very unlikely it's going to happen. The last time this race went into overtime was the infamous or famous, however you look at it, 2016 race, the championship race. Jimmy Johnson winning his 7th, Carl Edwards' final race. That was the last time we saw an overtime finish at Homestead. And then before that, you would have to go back to 2006, where it was won by Biffle, and I don't think that was even when overtime was a thing. Well, overtime wasn't a thing, but I'm trying to think back if I think they were phasing out racing to the line. I think. I'd be wrong there. Well, yeah, they had phased it out, and I think the race. I think it was 3 attempts at a green-white checkered. I could be wrong on that, but nonetheless. So the caution trends. One of the good one. So we're averaging essentially over the last we're gonna go over the last 3 years, or well, we can either way, it's about 5.5 cautions. It averages out. So we're gonna get 5 to 6 cautions in this race. Two of them are gonna be for the stage. So where that last caution comes, uh, I'm I don't know what this LC one means in this chart that I'm looking at. And there's no. Is there a key? Dummy. Is there a key? Of course not. Come on. So either way, so 6 cautions, about 5.5 cautions, 30 to 35 laps of total caution. So that's assuming we get 237 laps of racing if all stays normal, all stays with the trend, which is not always a guarantee. Now, the drivers. How are the driver? How do the drivers do? Actually, before we get there, I do want to point out the last time they had Homestead this early in the season, and they've only done it one time. It was not a dirt racer who won it. It was William Byron, starting from 31st. So that could be something to keep an eye on. Does the track go away from the dirt guys here? The sun hadn't been beaten down on it for consistent. Well, it's Miami, so, but it's not the summer sun beating on it all the time. It does get a little bit cooler in Miami over the winter, not by much, not by much, but it's going to be enough to make the track a little bit different than what we've seen in years past. The closest we can look is William in 2021 with William Byron. That is that's the closest comp that we have. And then so I'm I'm not saying it's not a dirt guy's dream track on asphalt, but it is something to look at. So now we go to the individual driver stats. Take a good old gander at it. So the most wins at this track, everyone is tied at 1 from Reddick, Hamlin, Larson, Byron, Bell. No multiple winners are active at this track, which really, again, points out why this race needs to be the championship race. So let's see if we can find some differentiation here. Going to the top 5s. Reddick with 4, Blaney with 3, Bell, Dinger, Hamlin, Larson, Elliott with 2. And Byron with 2. And then, this is over the past 5 races. I should add, over the past 5 races, active drivers. Now, man who now I'm going to take a look here, let it filter through. Who has led the most laps here? And it is, of course, Kyle Larson, 301. Denny Hamlin, second, 193. Blaney at 170. Byron, 159. Elliott, 112. And Reddick at 101. Everybody else is under 100. Now, who's got the best average finish for the fantasy section of NASCAR? Well, even though he's only ran 3 races, all 3 of those races, he's been in the top 10. 2 of those were top 5s. And it is A.J. Allmendinger, 5.3 average finish. Now, of the guys that have a full run all 5 years, you're looking at Byron at 6.4, Bell 8.8, Reddick 9.9 or 9.0, and Elliott 10th. So you have that mix of dirt and asphalt guys. And this is kind of the fun trend, kind of turf war developing within NASCAR, the dirt guys versus the non-dirt guys, which is funny. It's a fun little thing. I'm enjoying it's really cool to see that kind of different upbringings that lead to the same place. Now, have they all completed every lap? So the guys that have completed the most laps, and I'm assuming it's all of them. I'm not going to do the math. Probably should, but I'm not. Is Bell, Elliott, McDowell, Bush, Byron, Austin Dillon. 1,335 laps. They know how to survive here. And now it just slowly declines as we go down, but um let's see. I'm trying to see if there's any alarming numbers here. I'm not seeing any that are alarming. No, I'm not seeing anything that's alarming that are standing out. So we have that. So we got all the numbers there. Now to the pit strategy. Now this is going to be a rough number as far as fuel mileage because tires are going to be king. Here they're going to be pitting for tires before they're pitting for fuel, and so they're going to be splitting those stages in half. So we're going to see at least in the first stage. We are going to be seeing let me double check the actual stage breakups. I want to be I would like to be accurate here, but I think the stages are broken up into 60, like 60, 80, and 100 or something like that. And that is not even remotely what I clicked on. Um, oh, what in the world? So the stages are as hopefully follows. And if it's in the race center here. Hopefully it's in the of course it's not. But this race, they're going to be cutting the stages roughly in half. You're going to have some guys that's going to try to go long, hope for a caution, and then probably not get it because it's not a caution late in the race unless you start having tires blow out. Now, I don't know what kind of tires that Homestead's going to be bringing, but nonetheless, it is something to keep in mind. Like I said, this is going to be a tires. Tires are going to be at a premium. Every single opportunity, you're going to see guys wanting tires. I don't know how many tires they're going to have for the race, but again, it's going to be absolutely crucial to come down and get those fresh softs each and every single time. So you're going to see somewhere between 35 to 40 laps at the start, and then you're going to see, and then yeah, they're just essentially going to be splitting the stages in half. So it's not it's there's not a whole lot of strategy to it. Plus, there's going to be a caution. It's quasi late. That danged old competition caution coming at about lap 230. They're not as bad as they used to be at it, but they'll still pull that every once in a while. They will still be very quick to throw the caution if the opportunity presents itself. But the but let's see, the all time uh the all as far as all time winners at this track, the leaderboard, I should say. Let's see. Biffle has one, two, three. Edwards has one, two. Denny has one, two. He's got two, three. Denny's got three. So it's Biffle and nope. Biffle, Hamlin, Stewart all have 3 wins. I know there he is. So he's got 3 wins. So yeah. And then all the active drivers, you got a handful that has 1, and then everybody else is still looking for that first Homestead win. I do hope that in the future that this race gets moved, it gets a second date. It definitely deserves a second date. It is a tremendous racetrack. It deserves to be in the chase the playoff each and every single year. Hopefully, we do get to the point where we run 2 races here. If any track deserves a second race that doesn't have one, it is Homestead. We can kick Texas off the schedule entirely. I'm completely fine with that. So, Texas, or take away the Phoenix race, preferably the championship race, preferably. Um, but yeah, so we have that all sorted out, and then a little bit of NASCAR news. We have some crew members from last weekend's from last weekend's race in Las Vegas with the tires falling off. Kyle Busch, his is going to be without his Jackman and tire changer this weekend. Joseph Moser and Shiloh Windsor are the Jackman and tire carrier or tire man. And then for Chase Briscoe, he will be without Daniel Smith and Caleb Dirks. This could potentially be a big deal. It throws off some chemistry there. It is a very synchronized deal with the pit crews and changing the tires. You got to know what everybody's thinking. Got to be on the same page. Adding 2 new people, it could be different, and it could be something to look out for. So that is certainly something to keep an eye on. And as I said, in the Homestead review, which is on my channel, you can go check it out. There needs to be 5 lug nuts. We have to go back to the 5 lug nuts. It's it's dangerous to have just the 1 lug nut, especially if when they're it the design of it looks a little weird. as trying to get the lug nut on and off and it getting caught in like teeth. Um, it is something to keep an eye. It is something. They explained it at Vegas because of Kyle Busch's issues, but yeah, it's we got to get back to the five lug nuts. We cannot allow we cannot have the tires being held on by one lug nut and then something going wrong, the tire comes flying off and going into the stands. Oh, but that won't happen. Bull crap. We didn't think a car would get in the stands, and then we saw Carl Edwards and Kyle Larson and the in the Xfinity race all those years ago. If a car can get up, a tire sure as can. So that has to get changed. We have to get back to having the five lug nuts, and that is purely for the safety of the fans. I get that there's science behind, oh, the one lug nut's better because it keeps the tire on better. Whatever the case, I don't care. This is a safety of the spectators, safety of the fans. I don't give a crap if the science says, oh, it's safer with one lug nut. Common sense says no. And we all learned in 2020 science versus common sense, not always the same thing. So, let's get five lug nuts on this thing. Get these cars looking somewhat like a stock car again. I mean, name me a car that you can buy off the lot that has one lug nut on it. Has just the one singular lug nut, like it's an F1 or Indy car. You can't. Xfinity and trucks, they still have five lug nuts. Let's get back to five. That way, there are multiple points of contact where it is far less likely that all five lug nuts are going to be loose as opposed to this one giant lug nut. That is my proposal. That is my hope. And that is one thing that I am going to hammer on until the cows come home, essentially. So, that is all the interesting news leading up to the cup race. And I almost forgot. Denny Hamlin lands a massive, massive sponsorship with Progressive. The, losing FedEx was huge, but gaining Progressive, that's a big one. That's a big one. Hopefully they're a part of the sport for a very long time. As much as I crap on NASCAR, I want to see it succeed. I want to see NASCAR be a thing for decades and decades and decades on end. And Progressive coming on board really helps that. Really helps progress. And hopefully we can. Hopefully it's a beautiful partnership that lasts forever and ever and ever. So, all right, I think that is all I have for you on the NASCAR front. So make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for all your motor racing, motorsports, NASCAR F1, a little bit of IndyCar, probably not, but NASCAR, Formula One, and when we get into the season, college football and NFL. Just did a long, long video with my good friend Joe on the NFL free agency so far. Go check that one out. And we will see you in the next video.